Welcome to the Third Win channel. Today we're breaking down the new trailer for Zoey 102, which we just found out is going to be released on July 27th. This movie will feature the characters of Zoey 101 reuniting for a wedding, more specifically between Logan and Quinn. Let's dive right into the trailer. I'm going to go through the trailer scene by scene first and then talk about it more generally with some thoughts and analysis. We open with a little fake out shot of Zoey seeing Chase. I looked into this Thomas and Ruth Academic Center if it's a real thing and I couldn't find anything. Next, we see our good old PCA gang toasting to PCA at the bar, and we can see Logan, Quinn, Mark, Michael, and Chase. Quinn and Logan are engaged and you can see Quinn's ring here. I don't know much about rings, but I would guess it's quite expensive as Logan is rich, or at least he was. We then see Chase and Zoey in a pretty romantic setting, alone, sunset by the pier, which is bound to be an important scene for the movie, as our main narrative in the original show was the story of Zoey and Chase. We then see this fancy red car, which is immediately revealed to be Zoey's ride, and she is wearing the same top as she was in the first shot. It seems like she'll arrive at the pre-wedding with this car and outfit. We then have a fun flashback montage of Chase and Michael saying Zoey's name as kids in the original show, immediately followed by a wedding proposal between Zoey and an unknown character. This is used to show contrast that they aren't kids anymore, and that's a big theme throughout this whole trailer. Also, this proposal is significant for several reasons. A, the guy proposing to her has hair very similar to Chase. I don't think that's a coincidence. And B, the only Zoey 101 content we got between now and when the original show ended was a short 5-minute video of Chase proposing to an unknown blonde girl, but he calls it off when he realizes he has a chance with Zoey. I think this is 100% a callback to that. Really fun to see. We then get a title screen which says this movie is 15 years in the making, and yeah, it's been that long since Zoey 101 ended, and now we're getting Zoey 102. Feeling old yet? Zoey tells Quinn of her troubles in her 30s, explaining that she's just been proposed to on her second date with a guy, which implies that she said no, obviously. They're talking through this weird futuristic looking phone. I have to say I don't know what the intention is behind that, but it's interesting I guess. But on this screen Zoey gets a message. Quinn is inviting her to be her maid of honor for her wedding, and Zoey is ecstatic. We get to see Logan's proposal to Quinn, and Zoey is standing in the back looking slightly jealous, I have to say. This movie will act as a sort of reunion for the friend group at PCA, and through this movie we are invited along for the ride. Quinn calls Zoey her best friend, which is fun to see, as we see that first meeting between Zoey and Quinn all the way back in season 1 in Zoey 101, and they definitely didn't get along right away. Quinn says this wedding will be the reunion we all need, specifically mentioning that Chase will be there. Wink wink to Zoey, and we get the same generic shot of Chase again. Really, editors, you couldn't find any other shot, but anyway, the idea of meeting Chase again clearly is stressing Zoey, and she turns to alcohol. Then we get to see the great Stacy Dilson, and she is gossiping with some unknowns about Zoey, and she says,
I just hope she shows up. I think she's still stuck on her ex, Chase, from high school. It's sad, and I don't think she's had a relationship since.
She hasn't really been in a relationship since Chase. Wow, 15 years. Or actually, we don't know how long they were together, but this is starting to fall into place for me here. The way I see it so far in this trailer is the whole gang except Zoey is seen hanging out before the wedding, and it seems like the appearance of Zoey is a fashionably late one, and we see her arrive in the red car and she seems like she's stressing. She figures out a way to save face though. She needs a +1 and she opts to hire an actor for this, a hot one. Zoey arrives at the pre-wedding with her fake boyfriend wearing that same top as we spotted earlier, and then Zoey and Chase see each other for probably the first time in many years. And this moment is overwhelming for Chase, as hinted by the fact that he walks into a pole. Even the smallest Zoey 101 fan will know that this is a callback to the first time Chase ever sees Zoey, something he later references as love at first sight. Zoey and Chase are face to face, and they've come with dates, which Chase is definitely surprised and intimidated by. But this woman with Chase, this is the only time we see her in the trailer. We know nothing else. Next, we get a montage of some of the happenings at the wedding. Zoey's fake boyfriend is a bad driver, Zoey makes a toast to Logan and Quinn, and perhaps most importantly, this dance scene here. If you look past Stacy, you can see Chase dancing with Zoey. They definitely start getting along again sooner rather than later. Also, we have this frame of Michael, Logan, and Quinn. Michael is holding a note and I can't make out what it says, and Logan is looking very businesslike. My guess, he's taken over his father's business, but that's just a guess. The next scene here is of the bachelorette party, and we get an insight into Zoey's fake boyfriend. He is pretty frisky. Looking at this frame, I do think it's a bummer we don't have Lola in this movie. It definitely feels like a missing puzzle piece. Stacey Dilson has a pretty central role in this wedding, and I should mention she's gotten rid of her crazy lisp. Next, we see an unknown character talking to Zoey on the phone, and then Zoey's fake boyfriend with a very mischievous expression. Is he going to be a villain? The theme song for this movie, or at least for the trailer, seems to be TikTok by Kesha, which I would say is appropriate, a certified 2000s banger, albeit it came out after the end of Zoey 101. But I'm surprised there isn't even a snippet of the original theme song in the trailer. Moving on with our trailer, the title card makes sure to let us know that this is one wild bride, but the trailer definitely makes Quinn seem more quote-unquote normal, but I guess we'll see. Next, we get another scene from the bar, and it's packed with our PCA gang plus, and we get to see that Zoey is actually here for this scene. But in this scene, we have Chase do the dirty dancing scene with Zoey's fake boyfriend, which seems accidental, but it's pretty funny to watch the reactions that our PCA table gives. And of course, Michael is always hyping up Chase. I love that. We also see this hot tub scene where everyone but Chase is dipping their feet. Why is Chase not joining them? Chase would be the first one in that hot tub back at PCA. There's something there. Then we get one of my favorite parts of the trailer. We see Zoey talking with Chase with the sunset in front of them on the beach, and she says,
"When did life get so messy?"
I thought it was terrible timing to cut to the red car when she says this. Your life can't be that messy if you're whizzing around in that car in California. Then this exchange happens.
I would kill to go back to PCA.
I'm sure we'd all love to go back.
Man, the nostalgia. Well, I do like the theme of lost adulthood and longing for the past. We get a little happy scene between Zoey and Chase looking like they're back where they left off 15 years ago. And then, guess what? We cut to the red car for like the 50th time. Why? Did we blow like half the budget on this car? Anyway, more Chase and Zoey looks, and then we find out who's on the phone with Zoey. It's this unknown guy, and he thinks it's gross how much she talks about high school. The finishing 10 seconds has more Chase getting hit in the face, the red car of course, and the best part, Zoey's fake boyfriend being amazed about how they all went to high school together, and then Logan exclaiming, "PCA baby." Of course, this movie is coming on Paramount Plus, home of all things Nickelodeon nowadays, including the iCarly revival. I don't know how I managed to make a 2-minute trailer, 8-minute description, but we are not done. I'd like to ask some questions and give some overarching thoughts on this trailer. Briefly, don't worry. First of all, what is the focus of this movie? Is it the marriage, or is it really about Chase and Zoey, or is it just a fun reunion, or is this some sort of final chapter? So many questions on the idea itself. While I don't know who the focus is on, I do like the theming of the movie. A bunch of 30-ish-year-olds trying to figure out how to be grown-ups, and this idea of peaking in high school, I think a lot of people will relate to the nostalgia, and if they do it right, it could just hit right. Here's one thing that bugged me in the trailer, and will bug me if it is the case. Michael and Mark feel like complete background characters in the movie. Mark, okay, fine, but give Michael some more love. My favorite relationship in the original is the friendship between Michael and Chase. Give me more of that, please. Also, I love how they're catering for people who have watched the original show. This demographic of now 20 to 30-year-olds, similar to the iCarly revival. I will mention that this franchise down the line has a lot of potential as well. The PCA gang can have kids, and we can have them go to PCA, and maybe one of them will be the dean, and you can have a modern version of this show. Could be cool in like 10 years time, but I'm getting ahead of myself. First and foremost, I hope this movie might add to the original rather than ruin it, and this trailer is promising. There is a lot to say, but I've gone on long enough. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below on Zoey 102. You might have noticed I've stayed out of the drama behind the scenes, and that was on purpose. Maybe I can do a video on that at some point, but for this video, I stayed in the PCA world. Looking forward to making some Zoey 101 and Zoey 102 content coming soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.